When it comes to recipes, there's good, there's great, and there's perfect. Why settle for anything less? From impressive roasts and decadent desserts, right through to simple suppers and takeaway favourites, we've got it covered as we bring some of the nation's top culinary talents together to share their years of expertise. Each of our chefs thinks they've got what it takes to cook perfect dishes every time. But will our judges agree? This time we're giving you the insider track on cooking perfect beef. Stepping up to the hobs to prove that they can cook perfect beef dishes are Michelin-starred chefs Michael Keynes and Tom Kerridge. Michael heads up numerous boutique hotels and restaurants across the UK, and Gidley Park in Devon was recently voted best restaurant in Britain.
I'm going to be cooking some great beef dishes today, and I'm going to give Tom a run for his money, so watch out.
Tom counts Heston Blumenthal amongst the regulars at his pub The Hand and Flowers, where he has earned a reputation for serving great British food at the highest level.
Really looking forward to today, cooking against Michael, showing him what we can do with some great British beef. It's the best of British, just like me.
Tom and Michael will be serving up 3 very different beef dishes to show that they know what makes beef perfect. Whether you're looking for a tried and tested classic dish, an easy midweek supper, or a Michelin-inspired creation, they've got a recipe for every occasion. First, they have to make a classic beef dish, and what better place to start than steak and chips? From pubs to fine dining restaurants, this classic combo is always on the menu. We've asked some other steak connoisseurs what makes this dish perfect for them.
The perfect steak and chips to me would be those really, really thin chips, none of your triple cooked nonsense, and it would be probably a ribeye on the bone.
What makes a perfect steak is having a lovely aged piece of beef, cooking it over a very, very high heat so you get that wonderful crust on the outside and nice and rare in the centre.
My perfect steak has got to be a ribeye and really simply cooked on the barbecue and always rare.
But it's Michael and Tom in the kitchen now. How will they make classic steak and chips perfect?
Okay, for me, perfect steak and chips is a fillet steak, triple cooked chips, béarnaise sauce and onion rings.
Wow. Well, for me, perfect steak is sirloin,
Okay.
double-cooked chips, and of course a wonderful smoky, tomatoey barbecue sauce.
Sounds fantastic. Well, I'm doing fillet, lovely marbling, and it's
Beautiful.
wrapped in cling film. Now, the reason we wrap it in cling film is so that it keeps its shape.
And of course, it's so important that, you know, that you have that marbling, because people don't realise it sort of naturally bastes that beef and keeps it nice and moist
That's
as well.
it. It's like it's got its ready own butter in it.
Tom sears his steak in butter and olive oil to stop the butter from burning, and the cling film won't melt during cooking.
Also, aging is an important thing. This is 21-day hung. For me, I much prefer a 21-day hung, but you can go over the top, and some steaks are much, much older. But for me, they get a little bit gamey. I quite like quite a young kind of steak, but still with enough flavour in it.
So, whilst Tom's steak is searing, it's time to crack on with his rather unusual method of making chips.
So, yeah, what is this? I mean, you're doing your...
Apple corer for my chips. I cut them all the same size using an apple corer.
You can use any leftover potato trimmings to make a hearty soup.
These are ones that I've done earlier, just blanched in boiling salted water. So this way they've all cooked evenly. That way that you're never going to get chips that are overcooked and undercooked. They're all going to be pretty much the same. The whole point of cooking triple cooked chips is to take the moisture from the potato so you can get it nice and crispy on the outside without it steaming from the middle and making it soggy.
Tom then fries his chips in vegetable oil at 140 degrees for 10 minutes.
OK, I've just seared either side of the steak, so you've got a nice colour on both sides of the steak, and I've taken the cling film off, and then I'm going to start cooking it all around the outside. And we're going to just gently cook it in this pan, probably all the way through. It might go through the oven for a bit, but...
Amazing, you just left a little bit of the fat on the outside as well, just to render in the pan.
Exactly.
Still that flavours.
All those flavours getting into that pan. You can see you can see all it's beginning to get in the pan, all those lovely beefy flavours.
So Tom's steak and chips are looking good, but what will Michael do with this classic dish?
Unlike you, I'm choosing the sirloin. Now, this is beautiful. I mean, you see great marbling. This is the This is the difference that goes, main difference between the two cuts is you're going to get a little bit more texture in here. So there's a lot of excess fat here, and what I'm going to do, there's a natural break in there. I'm going to just trim that off, Tom, and I'm going to just chop that down a little bit so that I put it in a pan, using that to help cook the steak. Nice bit of seasoning. I like to rest mine twice as long as I've cooked it, and because it's sirloin, I like to go for 4 weeks home. So that's a little bit longer than you.
28 days.
28 days, yeah. But I think, you know, the key to cooking a good steak is a little bit of butter in the pan. Delicious. And, of course, just dropping in those bits of fat into the pan. Hot pan, get it going quite quickly, get all the caramels, and then I'm just going to baste the meat as we go.
That's a really nice tip, that, with the bits of beef fat going through it to give it all that added flavour.
So I like to cook medium rare. Nice beurre noisette.
Beurre noisette is the technical term for butter which has been cooked till golden brown.
And then we're going to render that down. Lovely colour in the pan. You really want that caramelisation because that's where all the flavouring is.
Yeah.
As well. I'm just going to turn that down and turn my attention to my sauce. I've chosen to do a smoky, tomatoey sauce. My chef who works for me in Chester spent time in New York. Right. He brought this recipe back from the good old steakhouses. So we managed to, shall we say, borrow this recipe from New York.
Yeah, borrow's probably a fairer...
Yeah. We've done a little bit of...
You're not claiming it as your own?
So we're going to start that off with a little bit of olive oil. And I think, you know, it's got a bit of heat and fire into this. So we're starting off with some chopped shallots, a little bit of garlic, and now quickly adding the chilli, just to give it a little bit of fire. So we're going to sweat those two down. Pinch of soap just to draw out some of the moisture. Now, my steak doesn't take as long as you, so I've got this little stick here. You can use cocktail sticks. We're just going to insert that into the steak, count to 7, and then just bring it to your lip. And if it's warm, or body temperature...
Yeah, blood warm.
That's it, perfect, medium rare. And then a little tip I like to do is just a little bit of salt and pepper after you've cooked the steak, just so it just, you know, seasoning seeps through the steak itself.
Get as much flavour into as possible.
Absolutely.
Back to Michael's sauce. He adds tomato paste to the shallots, garlic and chilli and cooks for a few minutes before adding the other ingredients.
Now I'm going to add about 50 ml of sherry vinegar, and it's just important that you just cook all of that sherry out, just to take it back down to that dry paste. And now, just to finish off my sauce, I've got bay leaf, got quite a lot of sugar, brown soft sugar here.
That's quite a lot.
Yeah, a little bit of tomato chopped, equal amounts of tomato to tomato paste. And then the secret, the big daddy Liam Perrins, in it goes.
Cool, blimey.
But then you're just going to cook that out.
So it's almost like a chutney.
Well, it is. It's kind of chutney stroke, you know, tomato sauce. So we're just going to leave that cooking now.
Michael likes to make this in large batches as it keeps in the fridge for up to a month.
In goes the tamarind. Yeah, it's almost like a sweet and sour.
Tamarind is a fruit used as a souring agent in Asian cooking.
Did you say tamarind there?
Yeah, tamarind. So we had a block of tamarind. We just had some poke from the block. So really nice, and adds a little bit of spice to it. You can then just cook it out to whatever texture you want.
Tom and Michael have got very different ideas on what makes a classic steak and chips. Which one will the judges think is perfect? This time on Perfect, Michael Keynes and Tom Kerridge are using all of their culinary expertise to prove they can cook perfect beef dishes, whatever the occasion. They're halfway through making their version of the much-loved classic dish steak and chips, but which recipe is perfect? Taking their place in the dining room are the judges, 3 butchers who know how good quality British beef should be treated. Father and son team David and Danny Lydgate hand-picked the produce for their award-winning shop in London's Holland Park.
For the perfect beef today, I'm looking for the Grand Cru, and that's in the tenderness, in the succulence, and particularly in that explosive flavour in the fat.
Today I'm looking for good tenderness and taste. I eat a lot of top quality beef, and I hope this matches up to the flavours I'm used to.
For the third judge, Chris Godfrey, butchery is in his blood, with a family tradition dating back over 500 years. He now supplies some of London's top hotels and restaurants.
What I'm looking for is for them to use like some of the more harder cuts to cook, the steak cuts, like a point end of rump, a bavette, maybe an onglet would be nice to see, and those are harder to get right.
On this show, the food's doing the talking. Our 3 beef experts have no idea which chefs are cooking for them and will make their decisions on the food alone. Back to the kitchen, where both chefs' steaks are resting.
Mine's just come out of the pan. I finish it with a good squeeze of lemon juice and then basted it. So it's got this butter and lemon juice basting going on, leaving it off rest, just like yours, for a long amount of time, and it all relax.
Why lemon juice for you?
It gives it a nice glaze. It helps to give it a lovely shine and a beautiful flavour that comes to it.
Time for Tom to make his classic béarnaise sauce. He adds diced shallots, peppercorns and tarragon to white wine vinegar and reduces before adding to egg yolks with a splash of water.
The water's gone in just to help loosen the egg yolks so you can cook them out. So you're not just cooking an egg, you're cooking an egg
a little
with
bit of volume.
That's it.
Cooking time.
Exactly.
Tom then whisks over a bain-marie until the mixture is thick and creamy. Time to add the all-important clarified butter.
Yes, look at that, just taking straight away.
Yeah, I've got a little bit of double cream here, just to hold it, just to help hold it. It's the milk solids in the cream that help to emulsify the butter so that it doesn't split out.
Tom's béarnaise is nearly there. How's Michael's barbecue sauce looking?
My sauce has been cooked out now, Tom. It's been on the stove for about, good 45 minutes, to get to this texture. You've got to give it time to get all of those lovely flavours working well together. Just have a taste of that.
Cool, blimey. That Worcester sauce is fantastic.
It is. I'm just going to draw our attention back to my chips because one of the things that I've done is I've left the skins on, and I really like having the full flavour of the skin. A lot of flavour in the skin. Mine have been cooked at 140. Like you, I'm going back at a higher temperature, but because I haven't cooked mine so long, I'm going back in at 190, 200 now.
Right.
And another point is the variety of potatoes. I mean, I like to use King Edwards or Morris for my potato chip.
Michael's twice-cooked chips need to fry for 5 minutes till golden brown, but Tom's triple-cooked chips have already been blanched, then fried at a low temperature for 10 minutes, so just need a quick blast in hot oil for their vital third cook.
Re-dropping my chips.
What temperature are you choosing?
180 now.
180
They're back in at 180.
Is this the secret to perfect chips?
My chips are almost finished frying. Come out, drain the oil off them, and season them up, and then I'm going to get my onion rings in. Yeah, chef, try one of these. Okay.
Wow. What a wonderful
onion
texture.
Rings into the batter.
Tom has soaked sliced onion rings in milk, a quick dunk in batter, and they're ready to fry until golden brown. Time to serve up.
Just going to roll mine back in its own juice there.
Yeah, get as much flavour getting back into it as possible.
Absolutely. Serve it. I'm not going to cut it. I've got a thing about serving steak. I don't like it when people cut it.
It's nice when the actual customer can cut it themselves and you cut it in front of you and it's nice and pink in the middle.
A little bit of... Look at that. It'd be really interesting to see how they find the 2 cuts and then the 2 sauces and the chips, of course.
That's it.
OK, well, here's my perfect steak and chips.
And that is my perfect steak and chips with béarnaise sauce and crispy onion rings.
Fantastic.
If you fancy treating yourself to a classic steak and chips, you can find both of these recipes and all the others from the series at goodfoodchannel.co.uk. Time for the judges to get stuck in. They have no idea which chefs have cooked the dishes. First up, it's Michael's sirloin steak and hand-cut chips with barbecue sauce.
I was really happy with my perfect steak. It's really different and contrasting to what Tom did. But for me, I think the choice of the meat is crucial. More flavour potentially through the sirloin.
There's a nice bit of fat.
Yeah. Nicely cooked as
Nicely.
It's
Nicely cooked, isn't it?
It's been aged. You can taste the hang on it.
Yes, you can. It's got a maturity to it.
The fat's got a nice flavour to it as well.
It's nice and crisp and burnished on the outside, and yet soft on the inside. Good trick.
I'm not keen on the chips though.
Yeah. They've got the fluffiness, haven't they, here? But not
Could be
quite
a bit
enough.
crispier.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Absolutely
But
right.
it's
Almost a
overall-
bit of a snap in the chips you want, don't
Overall,
you?
I like it though. I think the
haven't
sauce
got
is nice.
But the joy of that sauce, it's not drowning the steak.
It's
It's embellishing it
complements
a little
the steak
bit,
nicely, yeah.
a little bit. Pity about the chips,
Yeah.
because he's done it right.
So Michael's sirloin hit the spot with our judges, but they weren't convinced by his chips. Time for Tom's fillet with béarnaise and triple cooked chips.
It's a nice big fillet, isn't it, Chris?
That is a big fillet. That's centre cut. That's nice.
I was very happy with my steak and chips there. The steak came out beautifully coloured. Everything was lovely. It was, yeah, chips were good. Béarnaise sauce, yeah, fingers crossed. It was all came together on the day.
I think the steak's cooked very well. Again, crispy on the top.
It's got a lingering flavour. Fillet's always got a mild flavour. Very good.
I like the way he's actually got the outside of it really well done without actually having too much of a brown mark going through to the centre, which is quite hard when you're cooking a steak. But as a fillet goes, that's probably about as perfect as you can cook a fillet. So
Yeah. Have you tasted the chips yet?
Will the judges think Tom's triple cooked chips are worth the effort?
Oh, they're fantastic. That is fantastic.
I think those chips are to die for.
They are actually
They
really good.
It's not a mushy flavour. It's a very strong potato flavour with
And they're seasoned.
Yeah, it's very nice.
But delicate, because with fillets, if you get anything over-seasoned, it'll kill it. Oh, he's really got that right.
For me, classic steak and chips, it's got to have béarnaise sauce. Michael's sauce was fantastic, but for me, béarnaise all the way.
He's done that well, that sauce.
It's nice.
It's got a big little sauce.
It's got a nice, just a vinegary touch to it. Out of the two sauces, I would go. I like béarnaise, the béarnaise sauce better.
It's beautifully done. It sounds simple, steak and chips.
I'd like to swap
It
the
isn't.
sirloin with the fillet.
You ready?
Yes.
Both steak and chips have gone down well, but which one is perfect? Will they go for Michael's sirloin or Tom's fillet? Time for Michael and Tom to find out which classic steak and chips is perfect.
Check it on.
Check on. You ready?
Oh, dear. Got whipping.
I'm sorry, Chef, it is 3-0 to the fillet steak. Fillet steak.
All the way. It's that béarnaise and triple cooked
It's the,
chip, that's
the
one.
triple cooked chips, not the hand cut. That's what it is.
Ah, never mind.
Brilliant.
Well done. No, credit where due.
Thank you very much, Chef.
Well, the judges loved Michael's sirloin steak but weren't sold on his chips. For them, it's got to be the whole package, so they decided that Tom's fillet and triple cooked chips is perfect. To make the perfect classic steak and chips, choose a well-aged fillet steak with a good marbling of fat. And to make your chips perfect, use an apple corer to create rounds of potato and triple cook for a super crispy result. Time for round 2, where Tom and Michael have got to keep it simple. Cooking with beef isn't just about expensive cuts and fancy dishes, so they've each come up with a simple midweek supper ready in minutes. Which of the chef's simple beef dishes will be perfect?
Wow. This is simple then. Just nice.
Perfect
Simple
simple food. This, I'm doing a burger.
Wow.
Burger with cheese, bacon. What more could you want?
I thought I'd do a lovely rump steak stir fry with a lovely sauce using the sweet chilli.
Right.
Store cupboard. Glory.
Store cupboard stuff. First thing I'm going to do is chop me shallots to make me burger mix.
What meat have you got? What cuts have you got in your mince?
It's quite a lean mince. I like using quite a lean mince because otherwise, if it's too fatty, then the burger will break up.
Tom then mixes together his minced beef and shallots with breadcrumbs and capers and seasons with salt and black pepper.
And the other thing is to not overwork it too much, because if you overwork it, it'll make it quite a tight.
Yeah.
It's almost like doing a bread dough. So you just want to work it enough so it's still quite loose, so that when it cooks up, it's
beautiful. Yeah.
That's it. We'll mould one up, and then what you want to do is then put them in the fridge.
Just to rest a little bit.
Just to rest it for a little bit.
Do you have to do that, leaving it to rest?
I think it's good. If you cooked it straight away, it might start to fall apart in the pan. And I'm also going to get on a quick kind of chutney relish to go. So I'm going to get some onions, some tomatoes.
Tom uses fresh tomatoes, but you could use tinned if you're short on time.
I'm going to put a good slug.
So just a very simple
vinegar.
dish. Yeah.
Sugar.
Red wine vinegar.
Yeah, red wine vinegar.
Demerara sugar, beautiful.
Sugar, cinnamon stick. We're going to slowly cook this out, and all those juices, all those flavours are going to come out. It'll take about 15, 20 minutes probably.
Very simple.
A little bit of oil in, and I'm going to slowly start cooking this burger.
Lovely. So, unlike the steak, just in the oil.
Yeah, exactly, just in the oil. There should be enough fats that come out of this.
Tom's burger needs to cook for 6 to 8 minutes on each side. Time for Michael to get on with his simple beef dish.
I've got the rump steak, which is going to be the meat that I stir fry with. You know, we were talking a little bit about steaks earlier, that a lot of people tend to go for fillet or the sirloin or ribeye. Rump itself is a beautiful cut. And I'm just going to cut this nice and thin for stir fry, because we want it to cook quickly, but at the same time, you know, you want to make sure you keep it medium rare, because it's a lovely cut. I've chosen a red onion. Just going to make sure the veg is cut at similar size, because you want to cook it quickly in the pan with a little bit of veg oil, finishing it with some sesame oil. Monchu are great. They add a natural texture, but they're quite clumpy like this. So little tip is just to cut them down into strips. The thing I like about stir fries, you can pretty much empty your fridge. Broccoli, chuck it in there. I've got some spring cabbage as well, which is really good, or you use your Savoys. A little bit of lime here, which we'll just cut in half, and a little bit of Chinese spice.
Michael's stir-fry ingredients are prepped. To go with his dish, he's chosen to make sticky rice. He adds rinsed glutinous rice to a bowl with a little veg oil and a cinnamon stick. He then places in a steamer over a pan of boiling water.
Lid on for about 20 minutes, actually sort of 15 minutes max. That's it, couldn't get any simpler.
Well, I'm not sure. One burger is probably simpler.
Fair play, it is quite simple.
2 very different simple suppers, both very easy to make. But which one will our judges think is perfect? This time on Perfect, top chefs Michael Keynes and Tom Kerridge are using all their culinary know-how to prove they can cook perfect beef dishes. So far, they've served up their take on classic steak and chips. Both dishes went down well, but the judges decided that Tom's fillet with triple cooked chips was perfect. Now they're making their simple beef dishes. Both recipes are easy, but which one will be perfect? First up, it's Michael, and he's ready to stir fry.
I've got a really hot pan here. We're going to put quite a generous amount of oil at this stage. I really want to quick seal and quick fry the beef. That's what it's all about with the stir fry.
What oil are you using?
Just vegetable oil at this stage. And then what we're going to do is take that out of the pan. Straight away we're going to add our veg.
So that way your beef's not going to overcook, so you've still got a nice medium rare, I suppose.
I'm going to put that in with some ginger and some garlic.
Michael then adds bean sprouts, cabbage and shiitake mushrooms to the onions and mange too.
I'm going to toast some sesame seeds in this hot pan here. Okay, a little bit of Chinese spice. Splash of water just to get a little bit of steam going.
Get them cooked nice and quickly.
Yeah, just
So I'm just sticking some cheese on top of my burger. Take it out of the pan, I'm going to pop it through the oven just to melt it.
Being a West Country lad, Tom's gone for double Gloucester, but you could use cheddar.
Well, I'm just going to put now a little bit of sesame oil, adding my toasted seeds, and now add some seasoning of the soy. And now it's the cheat, Tom. Sweet chilli, in it goes. In goes back into the pan with the beef, and a little bit of the beef juice, of course. Drop of water. A little bit of
That looks
lime.
absolutely fantastic, I've got to say.
Michael's stir fry is good to go. Back to Tom's burger.
Okay, look at that lovely melted cheese.
Beautiful.
One of these buns.
What kind of buns have you got there then?
It's a ciabatta bun. It's,
nice.
So it's warm through the oven, just nice and warm. A little bit of this burger relish. And it's been cooked for about 20-25 minutes, come to that kind of point there. Then I'm going to put one tomato on top of that, burger on top of that. Then we're going to put another tomato. This is like a right Scooby snack, this is, isn't it? I'm going to a couple of pieces of lettuce. That's the healthy element. Couple of pieces of bacon.
Easy on the health, look, hey? Look
Then
at that.
the top, look at this.
That is a proper Scooby snack.
Then you need one of these things. All the way through. Look at that.
It's fantastic. So look, sticky rice in a bowl, a little bit of
That looks
coriander.
fantastic. That's beautifully cooked, Chef. I reckon you should have 2 Michelin stars.
You know what? I might actually start taking this up for a living. Amber tonight. Here we go. Look, and a little bit of lime on the side. Here's my simple stir-fried rump steak with sticky rice, chili sauce.
Fantastic. And there's my giant, simple tower burger.
If you want to serve up perfect dishes, visit goodfoodchannel.co.uk for all the recipes from the series. Tom and Michael have shown how easy it is to serve up mouth-watering beef dishes, but which simple supper will our judges decide is perfect? First up, it's Michael's stir-fried beef.
You know, I was really happy with my simple beef stir-fry. It's very tasty, something that can be done in quick time, but, you know, it's very contrasting to a burger. I think there's a little bit more to my dish.
It looks nice, colourful.
How's it cut?
And it's quite rare.
That's incredible to get a stir fry. That is the hard bit.
Yes, easy to overdo it.
It's very tender. And the flavour's nice.
Yes.
Let's try some of this.
It's not dominated it.
I'm not a stir fry fan.
You're not stir fry? Oh, it's very nice.
Very nice.
Yeah, it's very nice.
I suppose that's quite a quick recipe to cook.
It's simple, but very effective as well. The rice is very nice.
It is. It's simply great.
The sauce has got a good flavour.
Yes, to permeate the rice.
Yeah.
That beef is really, and it's rare, and that for a stir fry. I'm quite happy.
He's done it well.
The judges are impressed with Michael's stir-fry. What will they make of Tom's burger?
The most important thing about a burger has got to be the bun that goes in it as well.
Oh, that's a good point, Chris.
To be honest with you, I was more than happy with the simple burger. I think it, when it came together and came on the plate, it was bigger than I thought it was going to be. It looked great.
Fresh ingredients and easily accessible.
Yep.
Doesn't look too rubbery.
Yes, you
Looks
can
nice.
get it like a rubber ball, can't you, a burger? Particularly if it's very lean.
I personally like a burger with less in it. Like I like a nice beefy. I like to taste that beef, you know, like a chuck.
Yes, quite right.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I think the burger's very nice. You can't
It's nice
taste
meat.
what
It's like a stuffing.
Yeah, the ingredients are very strong, but I like that.
So both simple beef dishes get the butcher's approval, but which one is perfect? Will they go for Michael's stir fry or Tom's burger? Time for Tom and Michael to find out which simple beef dish is perfect.
I'll let you do the honours, chef.
Okay. With a turn of fortune, it's 2-1 to me.
Oh,
Yeah, that's not bad.
well done.
Well, the judges enjoyed both simple beef dishes, but thought the meat should be the star of the show. So for them, Michael's stir fry is perfect. For the perfect simple beef dish, quickly stir fry rump steak, then remove from the pan to ensure it remains medium rare. Fry some crisp vegetables, season with sweet chili sauce and soy. And crucially, only add the beef back when ready to serve to avoid overcooking. Easy as that. Time for the third and final round. This is where Tom and Michael really get to show off their culinary skill and use some clever techniques as they create their ultimate beef dish. We've asked some well-known fans of Great British Beef what makes the perfect ultimate beef dish for them.
For an ultimate beef dish, I'd say probably a bœuf bourguignon with some nice creamy mashed potato, but just really slow braise for hours and hours with shallots, lots of red wine, cooked very gently and tender as anything. It's delicious.
A really, really slow braised piece of beef done with lots of red wine, maybe a bit of truffle oil in at the end, and just lightly thicken the sauce with a little bit of bone marrow.
Braised beef with a little bit of Chianti, some tomatoes, a bit of paprika in there, some sage, and serve that with some polenta. Yum, yum.
But it's Tom Kerridge and Michael Caines doing the cooking today. What will they do for their ultimate beef dish?
Listen, this is a simplified dish from something I do at Gidley. Just a nice combination of celeriac with the red wine sauce and this wonderful Chateaubriand, which is the best bit of the beef, they reckon. Quite expensive, contrasting completely with what you've got.
Absolutely. So I've gone for what I think is an ultimate beef dish.
Yeah.
And I think it's shin.
Wow.
Shin of beef. It's one of those things that people don't use too much, but maybe they should start using more.
And of course, those wonderful marrow bones, which is delicious.
Exactly.
But I've got to start off. What I've done is, because it's a chateau, this is going to serve, 2 people.
Chateaubriand is cut from the thickest part of the fillet.
So just nice bit of seasoning on the outside. So we're just going to get the butter into the pan, and we're just going to get that roasting off. Just nice slow roasting. I'm going to start my sauce for this, which is a red wine sauce using the trimmings here from the fillet or just normal beef trim in a very, very hot pan. And we're going to roast off those trimmings. Nice caramelisation, and then we're going to add some shallots and button mushrooms, and then we're going to add our red wine. So that process is going to create a lovely sort of rich red wine gravy, almost ready for the beef to go in the oven. Keep that turning. But you can smell the caramelising of the beef.
You can smell the lovely flavours coming through off that.
Michael's beef goes into the oven for 15 minutes until medium rare. Back to his sauce.
Going to get some sliced shallots, okay? Add them in first, and straight away they'll pick up on all that caramel. It'll give its moisture to the pan. But I want a little bit of colour, but I don't want to over-colour them, because if you burn the onion, that's going to create a bitter.
You're going to put mushrooms through that as well?
Absolutely.
So when I was a young chef, my old head chef taught me that when you're making sauces like this, you put shallots in for sweetness, mushrooms for body. So
absolutely. The thing about the mushrooms, about 80% of it is water. So what we're going to do is we're going to sweat them out till they're slippery. But they add as wonderful little filters. So when you add your wine to reduce, it takes away some of the intensity of the red wine and mellows the red wine. Yeah. So when you're reducing that, the mushrooms kick in.
So is that an expensive red wine to go with your expensive piece of meat?
Well, for you, sir, we're serving today the Pinot Noir with this wet sauce. Pinots generally give low tannins, and if I said to you, what's one of the greatest beef dishes that you associate with red wine?
Well, it was beef bourguignon straight away.
Bourguignon is Burgundy. Yeah. Burgundy only do Pinot red wine, and it creates a much lighter red wine sauce, much more balanced for the beef. So that's why I'm using it. So
every day's a school day for me. Thank you very much, chef.
Michael finishes his sauce with tarragon, thyme, chicken stock, veal glace, which you can buy online, peppercorns and double cream. It then needs to cook for 45 minutes. Time for Tom to get cracking on his ultimate beef dish.
So I actually feel a little bit of a poor man now because you're actually making a beef stew just for the sauce and I'm just making a beef stew. So, but the end result, hopefully, is an ultimate beef dish. So
Brilliant.
We've got the shin of beef that we then marinate in red wine. Now, if you look at that, it takes on all those lovely red wine flavours and the colouring.
Yep.
That's been marinated just for 24 hours, and in 24 hours it goes to that colour.
Brilliant.
So what we're going to do is we're going to caramelise that off.
So that's how you make that sort of real flavour impact on your stew, just to get that lovely deep roast.
That is it. You need those caramelised flavours. You need that flavour going in.
Yeah.
And also, to add to it, I'm roasting bone marrow.
Oh,
now, bone
beautiful.
marrow is just one of those most fantastic things. I love it to pieces. You know, it's cheap, but it also it's got a wonderful beefy flavour. So these
Look at that. I mean, they look
they're
stunning.
great, aren't they? These, what I've done is I've soaked these in salt water for 24 hours, and that draws out any of the blood, so they're nice and white and pale. Scrubbed down, scraped them down. Literally, they go onto a pan, and we're going to roast them in the oven for about 20 minutes,
Great.
just so the bone marrow's broken down.
You can get bone marrow from any good butcher's. Tom's marrow is safely in the oven. Time to finish his stew.
Okay, so we've seared that off. We put that into a pan. You've got your onion, carrots, leeks, celery, roasted off, loads and loads of flavour. We're trying to get as much flavour into this as possible.
Tom then adds the red wine the beef shin was marinated in, stock, bay leaves, thyme, cloves and white peppercorns, and transfers to a low oven for 2.5 to 3 hours until the beef is tender.
Feeling pretty confident.
Good. Very special. Ultimately.
Ultimately confident.
Tom and Michael couldn't have chosen more different cuts of beef for their ultimate dishes, but which one will be perfect? This time on Perfect, Michael Keynes and Tom Kerridge are revealing their trade secrets for cooking perfect beef. So far, Tom's classic steak and chips and Michael's simple stir-fry have been the judges' perfect dishes. Now they are pulling out all the stops with their ultimate beef creations, but which one will our judges decide is perfect?
So this bone marrow is going with my ultimate beef dish, which is my braised shin of beef.
Okay, what's making that so ultimately special?
The fact that it's cheaper cuts, cheaper ingredient, treated with respect and love by me. That's what makes it ultimate.
A bit of TLC, Tom loving care.
Tom loving care.
Back to Michael's ultimate beef dish, Chateaubriand with celeriac puree. His red wine sauce has been cooking for 45 minutes and it's ready to strain.
Now I'm going to add a little bit of cornstarch to that towards the end. But now I just need to get some reduction time. So on it goes. It's cooked out. You can smell the flavour. Just have a taste of that. You got the tarragon, a little bit of the red wine. And now, Tom,
you've got that really beefy flavour where you fried that beef first. You can really taste it.
Now, to complement that, my celeriac puree. What I do is I've got in here a little bit of onion and a little bit of celery that I've diced, sweated down, a little bit of butter, and got some celeriac here, which I've diced as well. So we're going to add that to the process.
Michael cooks the celeriac in milk to keep its colour. He adds chicken stock, water and seasons.
And then we're going to reveal the one I've already cooked.
Michael then blends the celeriac to make a smooth puree.
And now I'm going to go get my beef and let it just rest up.
OK.
So over to you now.
Right, my shin, it's been cooked, braised, 2.5 to 3 hours, just till it flakes away. And then this is the thing that makes it the ultimate, I think, in my view. This is the thing that will make it the winning dish, I hope, is it will take the shin.
Let's hope so, eh? Always live in hope. Yes.
We'll take all the pieces, and what we do then is we flake it down.
Oh, yeah.
You can see all the collagen's broken down. It's all lovely.
So soft now and tender.
Yeah, that's it. And then into that, we add extra bone marrow. So this is raw bone marrow, literally been soaked, not cooked. So it basically acts as a butter.
Ah, yeah, that's a really
So we mix the two together, and we get it to a fine kind of paste.
Yeah.
And then what we do is we roll it in cling film, and you end up with something like that. So where it's been rolled together.
So you leave that in the fridge just to set.
That's it.
Keep it
roll
shaped.
it in cling film, set it in the fridge. I suppose a minimum of 2 to 3 hours, so it sets up into a nice firm space, so that we can get onto the next stage, which is wrapping it in this.
Wow.
Which is pig's caul, or as the French call it, crepinette.
Crepinette.
Which is that lining of a pig's stomach that everyone thinks, but it's actually, you know, it's completely flavourless, and it acts as a fat, and it just, as you cook, it just dissolves away into something that's beautiful. But what it means is that this will hold its shape. Okay, so then what we do is we put it into a pan with a knob of butter, a little bit of chicken stock, and then that goes back into the oven to regenerate, reheat. And every 5 minutes or so, we're just going to baste it with a spoon, just get a nice glaze and a lovely finish on it. So this has gone into the oven, Michael, at about 160. And here's one that I've got done. It's been in there for about 20-25 minutes. So as you can see there, that the caul fat has melted away. We've got this lovely glaze going on.
Cool. Look at it.
So it's kind of like a very posh faggot. The sauce from the braise, we've drained off, and I've got it here in a pan.
Yeah.
We're just reducing it down lightly. Yep. I'm going to add a couple of knobs of butter into that. Just bring it together, and hopefully add it to a nice, rich sauce. And serve that with some glazed carrots. And these carrots have been cooked kind of like, like Vichy carrots. So they've been cooked in a stock of sugar and water, star anise. And they're just cooking down to be nicely cooked in glaze. So I've made a parsley puree here, which is dead simple. It's picked English parsley, just literally blanched in salted boiling water till it's soft, taken out and blended with a little bit of the boiling water, seasoned up, and you just made a puree, simple as that.
Tom is almost ready to serve. Back to Michael. His sauce has reduced and been thickened with corn flour. Time to crack on with the rest of his dish.
Got to saute off these mushrooms. I've just got a little chopped chervil, just to keep a little bit of that aniseed flavour coming through. And that was going to go in this pan now with a little bit of crushed garlic.
So those mushrooms, what mushrooms are you using there,
Just some
Chef?
wild mushrooms, got a little mix here, a little chanterelle, pierre bleu, a little bit of shiitake. Just saute here, there we go. I'm going to do a nice thick wedge, hopefully medium rare, beautifully rested. Now, 2 nice slices.
Smell of that is fantastic.
Just one on top, a few mushrooms here on the side, and of course the sauce.
Just got this lovely glazed sauce that we'll finish off with.
Look at that, it's so intense.
Okay, so here we go. This is my ultimate beef dish. And this is my slow braised shin of beef with roasted bone marrow and parsley.
Wow, that's superb. And this is my ultimate beef dish. Chateaubriand with cereal puree, red wine sauce and fricasseed mushrooms.
If you want to create perfect dishes for any occasion, visit goodfoodchannel.co.uk for all the recipes from the series. Time for our judges to taste Tom Kerridge and Michael Caine's ultimate beef dishes. First up, it's Tom's shin of beef.
Really, really pleased with my ultimate beef dish today. You know, good, simple cooking, it, you know, sums me up.
Joy, that bone marrow.
I think I'll try that myself. That's lovely.
Really nice flavour.
Yeah, that is.
And he's used the caul fat.
That's lovely, isn't it?
That is
Succulent.
succulent. It's very beefy. You can taste the stock and the beef flavour on that is just so intense.
Cheap products,
Very cheap.
and yet ultimate.
Well done.
Yeah.
I
Yes,
just
nice.
got
Very
to
nice.
taste it. Oh, fantastic, isn't it?
Should be a law against it.
The judges love what Tom has done with his cheaper cut. Time to taste Michael's luxurious Chateaubriand.
This is the head part of the fillet as well, which has a little bit more flavour.
Ultimately, I'm very happy with the beef. It's very different to what Tom's done. And, you know, just wanted to showcase that Chateaubriand.
He's cooked it absolutely perfect. Good.
I like the sauce, the red wine sauce.
It's very nice.
Really,
The red wine
really
reduction
beautiful.
of it.
And it's not too overpowering.
I love Salarak as well.
Yeah,
Very nice.
very nice, yeah, I did like that.
What's this?
So that's the puree Salarak.
Oh, that's lovely.
This is
Well,
good. This is class. The blend is class.
The actual jus is very rich. There's a lot of flavours going on there.
Yeah.
What a jus.
What is it? Let's have a little more on this.
It's definitely an ultimate dish, this one,
Yes,
isn't it?
it is.
Yeah,
For a
really,
fillet dish, it is.
yeah, really good. And also the thing with these two dishes is we've got the cheapest cut of the animal with the shin against the most expensive cut. It's going to be a tough decision between the two of them, isn't it, though?
Definitely.
Very.
Will the judges go for Tom's economical shin of beef or Michael's extravagant Chateaubriand? Time for Tom and Michael to find out which ultimate beef dish is perfect.
So you ready?
Come on, let's have a look. Let's open it together. We'll see it at the same
All right.
time. Ready?
Ready? 3, 2, 1. Oh, only just. Only just.
2-1.
2-1. The shin of beef wins 2-1. Chef, 2-1 overall. Thank you very much. What a great day.
The judges were impressed by both dishes, but for them, you don't need expensive cuts to create the ultimate beef dish. They decided that Tom's thrifty shin of beef is perfect. For the perfect ultimate beef dish, elevate a classic beef stew with some clever techniques. Slow braise beef shin, then flake and mix with bone marrow to form a posh faggot. Wrap in crepinette and roast in the oven with chicken stock and butter to achieve a rich glaze. When it comes to beef, whether you're looking for an all-time classic steak and chips, a simple midweek stir-fry or the ultimate shin of beef to wow your friends, you've now got the perfect recipes to add to your repertoire.
It's been absolutely brilliant fun, and Tom did a brilliant job with his dishes, but together I think we showcased some great beef dishes, so well done, Tom.
Some great beef, some great dishes, and I'm proper chuffed, so cheers.
Join us next time when two more culinary greats take on the challenge to create dishes that are not just great, but perfect.